So we're changing the oil in a 2013 Porsche Boxster. I have it raised right here, and homemade rams. Everything you'll need for this oil change. I use 040 Mobil 1 oil, a 64 millimeter oil filter wrench, some keys, some extensions, an oil filter. I use Cayman 7036, a catch bucket, some rags, and an Allen wrench. And we have the car lifted right here. So let's go under and let's see what we're gonna do. So we're going under the car. And here is the oil pan. This right here is the drain plug for the oil right here. This is the drain plug. And the oil filter is right there. Let me get a flashlight. It is right there. You see that black thing? Right there in the center of your screen. That's the oil filter. And that's where we're going to use the oil filter wrench, take it off. So first we're going to drain the oil using this drain plug right here. So I already have this loosened up for this video. It's this tool right here. Just goes like that, and you go left, obviously, loosen it up, and yep. There we go. That's the oil filling up in here. This is about 5,000 miles. It was on Mobil 1 040 fully synthetic. I'm using the same oil I used last time. Car has 15,000 miles right now. And we're gonna let all the oil drain out. And one thing I forgot to mention is I always have the car run for a couple minutes. Make sure the oil is nice and warm. It's easier to come out. And also, where you put the oil in from the top, I will go unscrew that cap. It helps the air and the pressure push all the oil out of the engine. So let me go show you how I do that. Right here we have the oil. I'm going to unscrew that and let all the pressure push all the oil out of the engine. Now you'll probably want to wipe your hands, not do it with messy hands, but there it is. Let all the air push it down. So it's been about 5 minutes and the oil is still draining pretty steadily, so we're gonna wait until all of the oil stops. We want to get as much of the old oil out of the engine as possible. Now, if you didn't see where the oil filter was earlier, it is right over here. You can see it now. This is the oil filter and goes all the way right there. Now we're going to use this oil filter wrench. I believe it's a 74 millimeter to 76 millimeter. I'll find out the details. We're going to put that up over the oil filter just like that, and then we're going to use this extension, put it in there, use our tool, and then unscrew the oil filter going left, obviously, and take the oil filter off. I do have a second box right here to catch the oil. So there's going to be some oil coming out of the oil filter, so be careful. And so we still have a little bit of the oil draining. It's been about 20 minutes. I have the time, so we're gonna let all the oil drain out. Now for the oil filter, I have a little swivel socket right here. The oil filter wrench, and that is on top of the oil filter covering. And we're just unscrewing it. And I've got loosened up, and it's almost time to have the oil filter come out. Now that is how the oil filter came out. You can see the filter in there, oil filter, the socket right here. This is how we took it off. I'm just gonna put it in there, let all the oil drain out. So we got our old oil filter out. We cleaned everything. We cleaned this oil filter. We cleaned the drain plug and make sure everything's nice and clean with a clean rag. Everything's clean. So the oil filter I use is the Cayman PS 7036. It looks like this. Comes with a new O-ring. This new O-ring replaces this old O-ring right there. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'm gonna go clean the drain plug area, the oil filter area, make sure those are nice and clean, and then we're gonna go apply the drain plug, apply the oil filter and the oil filter cap, and we'll be ready to put in some new oil. We have the new O-ring on. We're gonna place the new oil filter in. It's gonna click a little bit, just like that. You should have about that much sticking out. Should be able to move it. And then we're gonna go ahead and put on the drain plug and put the oil filter back on. We're back under the car. It's still dripping just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead, wipe this area down, just like so. And I'm gonna have my the drain plug, which is right here. I'm gonna just hand tighten it. There we go. Hand tighten it. There we go. There we go. Alright. Got it nice and tight. Just as you can. And wipe all the oil off. And then you can go ahead and tighten it. Nothing too crazy. There we go. And the drain plug is on. Area is cleaned. I don't see any oil. We're good. We're ready to put on the oil filter housing back on. So I'm gonna move this out of my way. Get this area nice and clean. All right. That is where the oil filter will go in. I'm gonna clean the area. What I did, I applied a small amount of new oil onto the O-ring. You wanna just apply a tad bit of oil on the O-ring just to get a nice good seal. up over there. So what I'm gonna do is go in. Now I'm just gonna hand tighten it. Make sure it's nice and straight. There we go. Hand tighten. Alright. Now we did get a little bit of the oil here and here on one of these cross members. So we're gonna wipe all the oil now, make sure there's no oil anywhere. First of all, we want to keep it clean. Second of all, we're gonna know if something is leaking, dripping, or something if we go and check it. So we want to keep the area clean. We clean the drain plug area. Now we're gonna clean this area, wipe everything down, all this residue. Oil that leaked down, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten this oil filter cap with our oil filter wrench. It says 25 pounds Newton meters, so we're going to tighten it down to 25 pounds. I don't have a torque wrench. I'm just going to feel it, and then never had any issues just doing it by hand. So we have all the oil right here. All the dirty rags, all the tools, those are all cleaned. Nothing left underneath here. Everything is cleaned, tightened. We're ready to put in the fresh oil. So we're gonna use Mobile 1 0W40. So last time I changed my oil, I used one jug of 5 quarts, and then I had this much remaining. So this is the new bottle. I'm gonna fill it up with one whole new bottle, and then hopefully this will be enough. If not, I'm just gonna get another jug of Mobile 1 and top it off, but I think this should be enough. I think it takes about 7 quarts, so 7.5 quarts depending on how much oil comes out. So this is 5, and then I have about 2, almost 3 quarts in here, so I think that should be enough. So the oil, you're gonna put it in here. You might want to use a funnel. I have one right here. You can use a funnel, make sure it's clean it all off, and then we're just gonna fill it up with oil. So I put in about 7 quarts of oil in, and then I'm gonna wipe this funnel down, close the oil cap here, and I'm going to start the car, and after a while it should show you what your level is of the oil. So then if you need to add some, you go ahead and add some. I would start off with putting about 6.5, 7 quarts, and then just go and add a little bit more if you need to. It's better to add a little than have to take out oil. Then you're going to have to go through the whole process of taking off the drain plug and draining a little bit of the new oil in. That would be a hassle. So just start off, you might want to start off with a little bit less, and then just add a little bit as the computer shows you how much oil you have in the engine. So I'm going to do that now, and then if I need to add some, I will add some, and if not, I'll drive, and then I'd probably check every couple of days, make sure that the level stays the same, and then if it ever drops, just add a little bit. We have the car started up and running. This is also the time where you want to check if anything is leaking underneath, any issues like that. So if you don't know how to check your oil measurement, so we're here. You want to go down to the screen. You want to go press outward, oil measurement, and no information about oil level available. You're probably going to need to drive a little bit around the block, and after a while it'll tell you, or you can just wait and it should tell you the oil measurement.